From Abbey Road to absolute annihilation, are you ready? Ah, you've returned for more punishment, have you? Brave or just hopelessly thick? This round dives deeper into the annals of UK music, where punk sneers, glam shines, and Britpop whines. You think you know your Stones from your Smiths, your Oasis from your Ashes? Adorable. Let's separate the true rock scholars from the tea-sipping pretenders. Let's begin. Level 1. Warm up in the garage. Grab your guitars, Earthlings. These are riffs even a roadie could nail. Don't embarrass yourselves. Yet. Which British rock band's singer was Freddie Mercury? Queen. Which Birmingham band, fronted by Simon Le Bon, released Rio in 1982? Duran Duran. Which Welsh band released Everything Must Go in 1996? Manic Street Preachers. Which English band's guitarist was George Harrison? The Beatles. The UK band Tears for Fears is named after a concept from which school of therapy? Primal therapy. The band's Soft Cell's cover of Tainted Love was originally a song by which American soul singer? Gloria Jones. What British synth-pop duo released Sweet Dreams Are Made of This in 1983? Eurythmics. The Scottish rock band Simple Minds' most commercially successful album was 1985's what? Once Upon a Time. Their fifth album, titled Fireball, was released by which band in 1971? Deep Purple. Saxon was chosen as a band name after which name was rejected by their label for being too hard to get radio play with? Son of a Bitch. Since forming in 1968, how many albums have Status Quo released? '33. Which Police album featured the global hit Every Breath You Take? Synchronicity. What Scottish band released Don't You Forget About Me in 1985? Simple Minds. The Green Manor Lishi, with the two-prong crown, is a song written by who? Peter Green, with Fleetwood Mac. Which UK band's 2009 album, Humbug, saw them work with American producer Josh Homme? Arctic Monkeys. Which Manchester band released the 1997 album Be Here Now? Oasis. A cover of the Little Richard song Long Tall Sally, released in 1964, was the first single for which band? The Kinks. Which band's 2007 album, Our Earthly Pleasures, included girls who play guitars. Maximo Park. Follow You, Follow Me is a 1978 song by who? Genesis. Which Arctic Monkeys member is the primary lyricist and vocalist? Alex Turner. Which heavy metal band's mascot is named Eddie? Iron Maiden. Who wrote and sang Space Oddity in 1969? David Bowie. I Hope I Die Before I Get Old is a line from which song by The Who? My Generation. Name the 4 Cream studio albums in order of release. Fresh Cream, 1966. Disraeli Gears, 1967. Wheels of Fire, 1968. Goodbye, 1969. How many studio albums did The Clash release? 6. Level 2. Mid-tour mayhem. The tour bus has broken down, your drummer's vanished, and these questions just got mean. Adapt or flop like a bad second album. What album by Led Zeppelin included Good Times, Bad Times? Led Zeppelin, self-titled, 1969. Which band released The Queen is Dead in 1986? The Smiths. Who is the only member who has been with Pink Floyd since its formation in 1965 and has played on every album? Drummer Nick Mason. The Rolling Stones' Voodoo Lounge Tour took place in what 2 years? (1994 to 1995). What London band's debut single Can't Stand Losing You appeared on Outlandos d'Amour, 1978? The Police. Which band combined post-punk and electronica on the 1980 album Closer? Joy Division. Which Nottingham band's 2017 album Broken Machine featured Amsterdam? Nothing But Thieves. I'm Your Witch Doctor, a 1965 single by John Mayall and the Bluesbreakers, was produced by which notable guitarist? Jimmy Page. Who is the original founding vocalist for Judas Priest? Al Atkins. Radiohead's 1997 landmark album, often considered one of the greatest ever, was titled what? OK Computer. Which Manchester band released the 1983 single Blue Monday? New Order. Which English rock singer's birth name was Reginald Kenneth Dwight? Elton John. What progressive rock band released Close to the Edge in 1972? Yes. Franz Ferdinand was formed in which city in 2002? Glasgow, Scotland. Which band's 1980 hit Ace of Spades became a hard rock anthem? Motorhead. Which 1980s Middleton-based band released a new record in 2025 titled Arctic Moon? The Chameleons. Keith Emerson was in what late 1960s prog band before the Emerson, Lake and Palmer days? The Nice. If brain power were tea, yours is decaf and 3 days cold. Which Sheffield band released the 1981 hit Don't You Want Me? The Human League. Very Heavy, Very Humble is the debut album for which band? Uriah Heep. Which Scottish pop rock band's 1974 hit Shang-a-Lang was part of the teen pop boom? Bay City Rollers. Which Liverpool band's 1980 debut album Crocodiles reached the UK top 20? Echo and the Bunnymen. Which Brighton duo released the 2017 single Hook, Line and Sinker? Royal Blood. The Ballroom Blitz was a hit single by which band? The Sweet. Which hard rock band's 1987 power ballad Love Bites became a UK and US hit in 1988? Def Leppard. Henry Padovani was the original guitarist in which popular band? The Police. Level 3. Glam, Grit and Glory. We've hit headliner status now. Expect trick questions sharper than Bowie's cheekbones and louder than Lemmy's amp. Which Manchester band's frontman was Shaun Ryder? Happy Mondays. Name the Massive Attack album that featured the single Teardrop. Mezzanine. Which Manchester band's 2008 album, The Seldom Seen Kid, won the Mercury Prize that year? Elbow. Fool for the City is an album released by which band in 1975? Foghat. Which Irish band's debut album was titled 1977, released in 1996? Ash. Days of Future Past is an album by which Birmingham band? The Moody Blues. Which Scottish trio's 2016 album, Ellipsis, included Rearrange? Biffy Clyro. Their first album, titled UFO 1, was released in 1970. How many studio albums have UFO released? '23. Which Oxford band's 2008 album, Antidotes, featured Cassius? Foals. Released in 1977, the Sex Pistols' only album was titled what?
Never mind the Bullocks.
Here's the Sex Pistols. Travis's second album, 1999's The Man Who, was dedicated to which American film director? Stanley Kubrick. Which Birmingham band released the 1974 album El Dorado, featuring Can't Get It Out of My Head? Electric Light Orchestra. Released in May of '95, Common People was a single by who? Pope. Dire Straits was formed in 1977 by John Illsley, Pick Withers, and which two brothers? Mark and David Knopfler. Name the folk rock group whose 1969 album, Liège and Leaf, is considered a landmark of the genre. Fairport Convention. Which band released the album Life, Death, and Dennis Hopper in 2025? The Waterboys. I Should Coco is the 1995 debut album for which band? Supergrass. Which Devon trio's 2022 album, Will of the People, reached #1 in the UK? Muse. Former Jethro Tull guitarist Mick Abrams formed which band in 1968? Blodwyn Pig. Which London band's 1980 single, Going Underground, entered the charts at #1? The Jam. What duo directed Duran Duran's 1981 controversial video for Girls on Film? Godley and Cream. You Got Nothing on Me was a charting single in 2005 for which band? The Glitterati. OK Ken was a blues rock album by which band, released in 1969? Chicken Shack. Which band's self-titled debut 1993 album was nominated for British Album of the Year at the '94 Brit Awards? Suede. The single, You Really Got Me, was released in 1964 by who? The Kinks. Deep Purple's song Smoke on the Water is based on what real event? The 1971 fire that destroyed the Montreux Casino in Switzerland. For an extra bonus 5 points, who was the artist that was playing the casino at the time of the fire? Frank Zappa. Another round down, and still you persist. Remarkable. You've just trudged through the heart of UK rock royalty, from glitter and grime to moody mosh pit poetry. If you're still conscious, give that brain a pat. It's done more work today than most of your species does in a week. Now, smash that like button harder than Bonham hit his drums, and prepare for the next descent into UK band mayhem, Part 3. That's it for now. Give that cranium a spa day, and I'll see you all again soon. Melvin, out. That was cute. Want to try something a bit more mentally taxing? Click another video, assuming you understand how hyperlinks work.